Right now because I'm seeing all these cool animals. Let's go.
Alright, this way. Mine shaft, let's go in.
Let's go to the mine shaft.
Turn your back to them.
Oh wow.
Holy crap.
Oh, look at the bats.
Oh, they're so cute. I love bats. I think they're adorable.
Tiny.
They're so
Look
tiny.
at them.
Their little noses. Look at their little noses. They're so tiny.
Oh my god, look at those guys. Are they eating him?
No, I think they're just cuddling. Or they're fighting. I don't know. Oh, he's cute.
Oh, there's this one right here.
I would push sand on the shaft.
Oh my god.
Slide down for miles.
Oh, bats.
Send a rope down.
This one right in front of us, guys.
It's always tough to get.
What's up, dude?
So chubby and cute.
Let's name one.
Where is it?
He's flying around too much. How can I name him?
Oh, there's one there.
Yeah, if you look
Let's
up,
name one.
yeah,
I shall name you Steve. You shall be my friend. Steve the
see them
bat.
all.
Steve the bat.
They all look the same. How can you tell them apart?
I don't know. But Steve. He's the bat. Oh my god, the one right there. Look. Right there.
Oh, there's a little one right there. Hi. Hi, little friend.
Look at him. Look at him. He's eating.
We go right up in the corner. See? Up by the window.
Look at the camera. You're on YouTube.
Look, this
They're so cute.
Yeah, just came and stuck there.
I think they're adorable.
Oh wow. Usually how they land by.
Rats with wings.
They're so cute. I find that
Thanks for the description of bats, Dad. There's something over here now. Come over here. Fisto.
I want to see it. Wait.
It's a Gila monster.
I don't know.
It's not fun.
Sorry, the back's in the way. Just wanted to get some more angles for you guys. So I'm gonna cut it here until we get some new.
Oh, I see it.
Okay, we're gonna hold it like this now. Okay. We're back. And we're still looking at this Gila monster. Haven't got an angle on it yet.
See it right there.
They're relatives monitor. They're actually close.
So the Gila monster looks like. You haven't seen it before.
They're irritating and deteriorating.
I want to see this. See this.
He's fuzzy.
Is it? So fuzzy. I don't know if I can't even see him, guys. It's gonna harm the sun.
I have pennies.
How many coins?
Oh,
You need 50 cents and a penny.
I don't have any of that.
Wah, wah.
Jaguar over here. Jaguar.
Oh my god, look at all the balloons. That's what that noise was. Oh my god. What? Holy crap.
Do you see the cheetah? You see it?
Dad, it's a flamingo storm.
Okay. Hang out for a bit.
That is amazing. I'll have to show you guys. Hey, pal. Hey, dude.
Kitty right there.
Look at him. He's huge. He reminds me of Philly.
Even though he could actually eat us, he's still adorable.
He reminds me of
Ew, oh
Philip.
my god, the color.
Does he remind you of Phil?
Phil can't eat us.
Yeah, but just the way he walks around.
He could totally
If I could just get outside this cave, you guys would be dinner.
Look at him. He's just pantsing back and forth.
Yeah.
It's probably hot.
Trying to keep cool, yeah.
Well, you're adorable. So, how do you know? You're adorable, little friend.
He's not a little friend. He's a big friend.
He's a big friend, but he's adorable. We go look at the flamingos now. Let's see the giant flamingo storm.
Noise boy.
I just tripped. Guys, prepare for the biggest amount of flamingos you've ever seen in your life.
That's what that noise was.
So like, that's some dirty water. Look at this. Look at all the flamingos. There's so many. They're whacking.
Okay, I don't get why they had to put other pieces of flamingos around. So they think they have more friends.
Jim, why aren't you talking to me, Jim? Jim.
This one is just standing, like stoic, like take my picture. Okay, just like take my picture.
What's up, bro? Send me like your photos taken. Quacking. Oh, they're moving. They're flocking. Oh, he's looking at the camera. Hey, dude. Quack. That is quite cool. Look at that, guys. I think that's pretty cool. That's really cool. All the flamingos. That one's just chilling. He's ready for a picture. Look at this guy.
The animals herd together for safety and warmth.
Look at that. That's a flamingo. In the wild.
Well, if they hear something, one will hear it and the others will.
It smells so old.
Let's go see what's over here. Look at all the little misty things.
Okay, we're going here. The elegant crested canal. Oh, he's right there. Look at him.
Oh, see him right there?
Daddy, you taste it?
Maybe. See the little birdies? See them? Oh, look at them.
Aww, you're tiny. Daddy,
See them all?
They do. I do.
Daddy, can I go?
They're adorable.
Oh,
They're really tiny. I want one. Look at this.
Oh, hi. Hello. Hello.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
You got
No, they're walking in sync.
They're synchronized dancing. They're dancing. I think that's pretty cute.
He's eating a carrot right now.
Oh, there he is. You see the
There's a sloth? Where's the sloth?
on your left? You see the sloth?
Oh, it's right there.
I love sloths.
It's a sloth. Ah, I want to see the sloth too. Oh, he is eating a carrot. He's munching on a carrot.
See the sloth?
He's munching on a carrot.
The sloth's up there. Look.
Munching on a carrot.
See over there?
Look at him.
Oh my god, there's two of them.
Oh, they're eating carrots. Munching on carrots.
Oh my god,
Imagine he waved back.
I know. Bears do that sometimes. They will double.
Oh my god, I love this. I guess I should be the first shot of that.
He's saying hi. Look at this. Oh, he was looking at us for a second.
Oh, you just barely see him.
There's a sloth over here, see? There's a sloth, two of them.
Here.
They come to the ground once a day. You guys ready? Also known as
Look at him. Look at the sloth. He's so cool. Sloth's so cute. I'm gonna cut it until we get something else. So, peace.
You guys all know what you're in for already? Or you come in this pretty much blind?
Blind, kind of.
Alright, well, basically what's happening is you are going to help us train one of our birds, and it requires almost nothing from you except you basically just sit and watch him fly. Because what we're doing is we're getting him used to flying in front of slowly larger and larger groups of people, because the more comfortable he is, the sooner we can get him in more shows. So what you're doing is by helping us train him, you're actually getting kind of a sneak peek at the bird, which I'm sure you all think is pretty cool, and he is a very, very cool kind of bird. Here in North America, we have a whopping 2 different kinds of eagles. We have the bald eagle, and we have the golden eagle. And the golden eagle is the bird that you'll be seeing. And the golden eagle is...
Are we allowed to take pictures of the bird?
Yes, that's completely fine. Yes, definitely during the shows that'll be happening. So the sooner he gets used to more things that aren't going to be a problem, the better. You got a question as well?
I have a selfie stick and I don't want the is the bird gonna like land on it?
He shouldn't, but just go ahead and if you can, don't raise it a whole lot higher than you got it right now. And other than that, he should be fine.
Just trying to get the video.
The golden eagles are found mostly around mountains, and they're called booted eagles because you'll see in a bit that he's got feathers that go all the way down his legs, and they stop before his feet start. Because a lot of booted eagles like to eat mammals, like rabbits or groundhogs or gophers, and when they get grabbed, it's totally possible they try to turn around and bite the leg of whatever's got them. But since booted eagles have feathers that protect their legs, when they get bitten by those animals, they're a lot less likely to actually take any damage because the feathers are protecting their skin. Whereas the fish eagles, they've got feathers that stop partway down their legs, here, and they've got that because they trail the lower parts of their legs through the water to catch fish and then fly away with it, instead of actually fully diving into the water, like osprey do. Now this golden eagle is about 4 years old, and this will be his 2nd season flying in shows. However, last year he was at our show in Milwaukee, which, in that he's flying in front of people in a certain order to different places, is the same. However, everything such as the setup of the stage and the order of where he's going, and other than there are people, it's all different because it's a different stage, it's a different setup. So that's the other part of what we're doing, is getting him used to the cool stage here. I'm a little biased, I actually like this one a bit better, because it means we can get the birds generally a lot closer to you guys than we can in Milwaukee. And the golden eagles that you'll see soon are actually pretty big compared to bald eagles. They're big enough that if you've seen a bald eagle sort of up close, when you see Zeus, you'll be able to see that he's larger. And because of that, people at a distance, they'll sometimes confuse juvenile bald eagles with juvenile golden eagles. Because if bald eagles like 3 or 4, there's a decent chance most of the feathers on their tails will have gone to white, but some of the feathers on their heads might not have. And when golden eagles are pretty young, they have mostly white tail feathers. But Zeus is old enough that he's lost most of those, which as he flies over your head you'll be able to see. And with that buildup, he's getting awfully excited. This is Zeus. Our 4-year-old golden eagle. Now, golden eagles are actually birds that, if you have spent enough time training, you can actually hunt with them. Just like falcons need red-tailed hawks, or Harris's hawks, or kestrels, or if they're really feeling risky, they might use an owl. The golden eagles are the ones you have to work the longest at to be able to use, because they are pretty much the largest bird that you can use to hunt with that I know of, which means they can do the most damage to you if they felt like it. Now, since they are so large, they're used in Mongolia by falconers that hunt wolves. And that takes an incredible amount of trust not only on the bird's part, but also on the part of those falconers. You can see on the back of his neck, once he flies over to Scott, he's got a beautiful streak of golden brown feathers across the back of his neck, and that's actually where they get the name golden eagle. That and their eyes are a little bit more golden colored than the bald eagle's eyes are. Those are really nice pale yellow. Looks like do the exact same thing as this morning, which was completely bypass the low perch and go up to the high point. Because that is where a lot of birds like to sit. It's the highest place they can, because that means they can see for the longest distance around them and keep an eye out for anything. And since golden eagles are sometimes found around the mountains, they will also hunt and eat things like mountain goats or sheep. But if they grab them, they are way too heavy to be able to fly away with. So what the golden eagle does is they will grab it by the head, wrench it off the side of the mountain, and then let go. And once it hits the ground, they let gravity do all the work, so they just kind of slowly glide on down to it, tear off the pieces that they want, and probably leave the rest of it. They'll also hunt turtles or tortoises, and they'll do pretty much the same thing. Except those shells are a lot harder, and they require a lot more strength in their feet than they actually have to be able to break through it. So what they'll do is they'll grab the turtle, fly up into the air with it, go until they're just over a rock, and then they'll drop the turtle so that it lands on the rock and cracks the shell open. So just like with dropping the goat off the side of the mountain, it means that they can a lot more easily access the yummy parts of meat that they want instead. Because Zeus is a bird that we've had for about 4 years. We actually got him from the falconer who had a license to have 2 separate golden eagles, but he was not supposed to have any young that they had, and obviously they had some young. He had Zeus, and since he wasn't supposed to have that offspring, Zeus ended up getting taken away from him and given to us. But since he's already been around people to some degree, it means he's a lot more easily getting used to this than he would if he was a bird completely out of the wild. Because he already knows people are okay, but now what we have to show him is that people are okay, and we also do not want his food. Because what he thinks tastes good, like rat, we want absolutely nothing to do with. Because rat is, well, it's a thing, not great for us, but they like it. And because he is a rather large bird, he's got some very, very strong feet. He's got about 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch of squeezing power in his feet, which means if he's in the mood to, he can drive his talons through pretty well whatever he wants, which means it's not his beak is dangerous, but it's the feet that are the big deal. And that is only one of the 3 things that make birds of prey birds of prey. The other 2 are the hooked and curved upper beaks, which act like knives do. They'll use that to tear off bite-sized pieces of food and swallow it whole because they don't have teeth. And the other thing they'll use is their eyesight, which is incredibly good. All birds of prey can see about 8 to 10 times better than we can, which means if Zeus could read, and you were to place either a map or a newspaper at one end of a football field, you could go clear to the other end of the football field, and if Zeus could read, he'd be able to read every single word on the map. Unfortunately, since the wind is not visible, he's looking a bit confused about trying to figure out what to do with it. This is one of the other things we're doing with getting him used to flying over the field. He's decided that he's, I guess, done and bored. So it looks like he wanted to go land over closer to his exit box, because I don't know why, but I mean, you guys all look cool, so I don't know if it's something to do with that, but alright, Zeus, I mean, we're all in here, so it's not really altering anything. And this is the other reason that we don't have him in all the shows yet, is because we want to make sure that this happens as not often as possible, because it confuses the birds, it confuses us, it confuses you guys. No one really wins in this situation. That is one of the things about working with live animals, is even when they're really well practiced, if something spooks them, something could still go wrong, or not as completely right. And if you could see it, birds, they're meant to fly. They're not really meant to spend a lot of time on the ground. So if they walk around, they end up looking kind of like a ridiculous little velociraptor or something. Alright, well, welcome back, Zeus.
Hey, Zeus.
I think what we're going to go ahead and do is, if he doesn't come over here pretty quickly, so we're just going to go ahead and open the box and let him disappear, because as cool as he is, there are other things that have to happen. It looks like he wants to be done. So that was Zeus. That was a very silly 4-year-old golden eagle. So at that point, if you've got any questions, then we can go ahead and answer those. And before that happens, as a bit of a self-plug, we do have another show coming up at 3:30. If you have not yet seen it, or you came from the last one, then you're not as obligated to stay. If you have not seen it yet, I've seen it once or twice. It's pretty cool, so you should definitely stick around for it if you haven't seen it already. If you got any questions, then we can answer those. If not, then thank you for helping us train our bird.
We're just gonna stay here till 3:30.
No, it should be good.
Okay.
It's, yeah, it's like 3 o'clock now. We could stick right here. We could sit.
Pretty excited. I might record it. I think I will. It's cool.
We'll put my SD card, but now I'm storing on internal.
Yeah, I need to get another one too. In that room. Alright, they're playing music. I'm gonna cut it because they're playing music.
Birds have been heavily persecuted and their environments destroyed by mankind.
I think that was
leaving many
Adam.
species dangerously close to extinction. The World Bird Sanctuary is very fortunate to have federal permits allowed for the breeding, study, and rehabilitation of raptors injured in the wild. So these beneficial birds can be brought back in greater numbers to the United States and the rest of the world. Almost all birds in the U.S. are protected by federal and state laws. The possession, handling, shooting, or destroying of these birds carries very severe penalties. During our show, there will be numerous free flight demonstrations. Please remain seated and do not attempt to touch the birds as they fly just inches over your heads. We hope you enjoy our presentation on some of the most magnificent creatures in the
Hopefully I want to go
world.
like this. Well, I have to get a shot, so. And also, if I turn the camera
Hello,
down.
everyone. Hi. My name is Lauren, and I would like to welcome you all to the Stone Zoo Masters of Flight Birds of Prey show, on what's turned out to be a very lovely Sunday afternoon. I have a very important question to ask all of you guys, though. You guys excited for the bird show today? Awesome. That's what I love to hear. In that case, we can go ahead and get started. Many of us, maybe we can get started. I don't think we can. Many of us know how beautifully and brightly colored the birds of our world are. So take, for instance, Carmen and Trinidad, our two military macaws. Our brains are able to receive and process their beautiful blues, greens, reds, and yellows because of what's going on in our eyes. The human eye can see the visible color spectrum and some detail quite well, but if you were all falcons or hawks, you'd be able to see colors and details on our birds that the human eye just can't see. For example, you'd be able to read the identification bands on Carmen and Trin's legs from up to a football field away, which is really impressive. One other thing, if you were all falcons or hawks, Carmen and Trin would have not willingly entered this theater and would have flown far, far away from here. So it's a good thing for their sake, and ours, that none of you are birds of prey. And speaking of birds of prey, if you guys have ever seen the show, you know that our two military macaws here, that they fly some really beautiful, amazing loops above the theater. But unfortunately, we have had, very recently, actually this morning to be specific, a wild red-tailed hawk flying way too close to our theater during bird shows. So for their safety, we are just walking them around today. So military macaws, like most other parrots around the world, are endangered. This is due to deforestation and mining. So if you would like to help out military macaws and other parrots around the world, please recycle, especially all of your aluminum, since most raw material for aluminum comes from South American mines.
That's cool.
And these guys are very social birds. They will live in large flocks in the rainforest. And they are monogamous, meaning they mate for life. Unfortunately, Carmen and Trin are not a couple, but they're still very cute together. So let's give it up for Carmen and Trin, and looking adorable today. And Scott too, because he's pretty cool. Because they're much faster than mammals' lifestyle, birds have the keenest eyesight of any animal in the animal kingdom. All birds can see multiple objects at once. Some can see better behind them than they can in front. Some birds can see better underwater than they can above. And there are some birds that can see exceptionally well even in the darkest of nights. So I want to invite you all to join the birds, my trainers Scott, Matt, and I, as we all take a look at bird eyesight. Before we get started though, I do have a quick public service announcement. This is a free-flying bird show, so we ask that everyone remain seated during the show for the entire time. We also ask that you do not reach up and attempt to touch our birds as they fly by. This is for your safety, as well as the safety of our birds. And some birds will be flying directly over your heads, so we do suggest keeping your eyes wide open to watch them, or perhaps keeping your mouths closed. I think a few of you got that. As I'm sure all of you know, different birds are out at different times of the day. One reason that different birds can be at different times is because they have a different number of specialized cells within their eyes, light and color sensing cells. So we're going to take a look at each type, or we're going to talk about these cells, as well as take a look at each type of these birds. On the count of 3, I want you to shout out a type of very infamous nighttime or nocturnal bird for me. 1, 2, 3.
Owl.
Owl. An owl is correct. And flying in from the back very shortly is Reese, our handsome great horned owl. Reese has fantastic night vision. It's been estimated that he can see from up to 4 football fields away with the light of one candle. That's because he has millions of light-sensing cells within his eyes that allow him to see really well at night as he hunts for his food by nighttime. The downside to having so many light-sensing cells, though, is that it means that there's very little room for any color-sensing cells. So scientists believe that owls here, like Reese, they probably see in black and white or in various shades of gray. And Reese's eyes are huge. If we had eyes proportional to Reese's, we would have eyes the size of softballs, weighing approximately 3 pounds each. So imagine finding glasses for those guys. The part you see of Reese's eye is relatively small compared to what's inside the skull. His eyeballs are so big that they actually touch inside his skull, and they take up about 2/3 the space within there. And so if you're doing the math, that means, well, it leaves very little room for other important things like a brain. So even though we say owls are wise and old, they may get old, but sadly Reese here is not the sharpest tool in the shed. He will not be doing your math homework anytime soon. But as Reese was flying around, you can see why he's called a great horned owl. It's because he has these little tufts of feathers on top of his head, and a lot of people think that they're horns or their ears, but they're neither. They're just feathers that help to indicate his mood, sort of like our eyebrows do. The more up they are, the more perhaps alert and grumpy he is, and the more slick back they are, the more relaxed and calm he is, like he was just now. And a lot of people think that owls and other birds can turn their heads at 360 degrees. They cannot, but they still can turn it a good ways around. They can turn it at 270 degrees because they have double the number of vertebrae in their neck. We have 7 and they have 14. But so we just looked at Reese, who's a nocturnal bird. He has a lot of light-sensing cells in his eyes that help him to see well at night. Now we're going to flip to the other end of the spectrum. We're going to take a look at a type of day-active bird, one that has a lot of color-sensing cells within their eyes. These color-sensing cells, they allow the eye to see in color, which then contrasts their prey as they hunt for their food during daylight hours. These are birds like songbirds that will hunt insects on the wings, and then your day-active birds of prey, these are birds like eagles, falcons, and hawks. Flying in from the entrance here is Charlie, our little juvenile Harris's hawk. Harris hawks are very, very unique in the raptor world, and they will hunt in family packs of about 4 to 7 birds. This has earned them the nickname Wolves of the Sky. It is very unusual because most hawks, well, they like to hunt alone. So you might be asking yourself, why would a hawk like Charlie want to hunt with his family pack? Well, imagine this. You're Charlie and you're out in your southwest desert home. You have spotted yourself a delicious jackrabbit, but that jackrabbit is just too large for you to take on by yourself. And to further complicate things, it's just now found some cover under some bushes. So what you'll do if you're Charlie is you'll fold in your wings, dive into those bushes, flush that jackrabbit out, and waiting on the other side is the rest of your family there to catch dinner. And together, you all get to share on the feast. Another added bonus, though, of Harris hawks is the young, like Charlie, he's only 1 year old. These guys get to eat first, which helps to ensure their survival in their harsh southwest desert home in states like Arizona and New Mexico. Harris hawks have one other very unique adaptation to hunting, because there are not a lot of tall perches in the desert. What one Harris's hawk will do is it'll find a cactus where the bristles are still nice and soft. It'll perch on that cactus, and then other Harris's hawks will ball up their feet, stack on top of one another up to 4 birds tall, which is a pretty impressive and creative way of finding your food. So thank you, Charlie, for teaching us all about family bonding. Nice job. So mammal eyes also have these light and color sensing cells within them, but something that bird eyes have that mammal eyes do not is called the pecten. The pecten looks like a teeny tiny little feather growing out of the back wall of the eye. We don't really know what the pectin does, but the leading theory is that it helps to transport blood to and from the eye. And reptiles, like snakes and lizards, also have a pectin in their eyes, and it seems that I forgot a really important prop I need for our next bird. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and ask if anyone by chance has a rubber snake I could borrow. Anyone? You do? What are the odds of that? What's your name? Kennedy. I'm so glad you're here, Kennedy. Alright, in just a minute, I'm going to ask you to take that snake and throw it on the middle of the stage. But I want you to be really careful not to hit the bird. Can I trust you to do that? I think I can trust her. She seems pretty trustworthy. So now that our volunteer has saved the day, our next bird can come running onto stage, not flying, but running, on her long, lovely legs. Her name is Evita, and she is our red-legged Seriama. Seriamas are found in Las Pampas grasslands of Central South America. As you can see, she prefers running or walking over flying because the ground is where they find their food. And they will hunt live snakes and lizards. They have a very interesting way of doing so, which Evita would love to show you. Alright, Kennedy, you want to go ahead and give that snake a nice good toss? Ready, set, go. Nice. Good toss. Evita has spotted the rare flying snake of South America. She'll pick it up by the tail and she will slam it into the ground. Wow, she beat me to the punch today. Seriamas are so good at smashing their prey, which this not only helps to kill the poor helpless snake, but also breaks all the bones and tenderizes the meat, making it much easier for her to swallow. And because Evita here is a bird, well, she doesn't have teeth, so she has to swallow her prey whole. And in the wild, Seriamas have been seen slamming and then swallowing snakes up to 3 feet long, which is pretty impressive. And this also helps with any anger management issues Evita might be having today. But it is a good thing Evita is pretty, because I don't think she's quite yet figured out that is a rubber snake and not a real one. So we're going to let her give it one more good slam for the road. And find a perfect patch of concrete. Post your pictures. Do a little strut and slam. Ooh, nice one, Evita. Oh, but you gotta leave it. There you go. So Seriamas are what's known as a vocally dominant species. Nope. So Seriamas are so good at smashing their prey that some South American farmers will actually raise them up in with their chickens to help protect those chickens from potentially dangerous snakes. That is what we here at the Bird Show like to call a smashing demonstration. I know, the pun's terrible, but the bird was cool. But Seriamas are what's known as a vocally dominant species. So that means rather than getting to a physical fight like we humans do, Seriamas will scream at the tops of their lungs. And whichever bird screams the longest and the loudest is declared the winner. This not only gives those South American farmers a good snake slamming defense, but it also gives them an alarm call system in case anything were to ever threaten their chickens. And speaking of chickens, what would a bird show be without a fine feathered fellow friend? Creeping her way along the ledge there is Omelette, our little adorable banded cochin chicken.
Of course.
Banded cochin chickens are found in Asia, and a lot of people love to keep them as pets.
Oh my god.
Because they're easy to train and they love to eat insects. As Omelette slowly walks across the stage, you can see that she has feathers that go all the way down her feet, which serve for 2 different purposes. One is they keep her feet warm, and the other is they serve as little bug nets to help her catch insects as she scratches in the soil for her food. Well, I guess Omelette being a chicken, she eventually, with her small brain, rather this is a birds of prey show, she is a chicken. Two don't really get along so well. But as Omelette was running by, you guys may have been able to see her blinking. If you did, you also have amazing eyesight. Birds have a third eyelid called a nictitating membrane. This third eyelid is clear and it sweeps over the eye, keeping it free of dust and debris, while also allowing the bird to see its surroundings. But eyesight is not the only sense birds have honed over millions of years. There is a species of owl, the only species of owl in the world, that can hunt, capture, and kill its prey in complete darkness, the only its hearing, called the barn owl. And flying dramatically onto stage, over here, Riley, is Riley, our little American barn owl. As Riley sits on top of my glove, take a look at his beautiful heart-shaped face. This is not only really pretty to look at, it serves a very important purpose. It's called a complete sound capturing facial disc, sort of like a satellite dish. What it does is it helps to funnel sound waves from the air directly into Riley's ears, giving him an amazing sense of hearing. He can hear so well that he can hear the pitter-patter of tiny little mouse feet from up to 90 feet away. That's from where Eagle Banner is all the way over to the Dino Dig. And he can capture and kill that prey in complete darkness using only the sound his prey is making. The barn owls, like most owls, are capable of flying silently. That is because the leading and trailing edges of their wing feathers have soft, small fringes on them, sort of like the teeth of a comb. They help to muffle the wind as it passes through the wing, giving owls silent flight and an even greater advantage at being Mother Nature's best mousetrap. Although they are fantastic mice hunters, this has turned very problematic over the last few decades. Because most people, when they have rodent problems, well, they put out rat poison. But sadly, that poison doesn't kill mice very quickly. It actually makes that mouse a very easy target. So if a barn owl has just captured a poisoned mouse and it feeds it to its young, sadly, that one poisoned mouse can kill the entire family of barn owls. So we ask if you have any rodent problems that maybe Google some more creative solutions to eradicating them. But Riley would love to show off his amazing mouse hunting skills. As you can now see, my trainer Matt has abandoned me on stage. I have no idea where he went, neither does Riley. But Riley would like to hunt him using only a special sound cue that Matt's going to make. So go ahead, Matt, make that cue. Riley has taken off. He is rounding the corner. Did he catch himself a Matt? He certainly did. Let's hear it for Riley and his amazing mouse hunting skills. And Matt too. He plays a pretty great mouse. Although this part sounds painful, it's actually very helpful. Bird eyes have tiny bones within them called sclerotic ossicles. These bones are surrounded by muscles, and together they allow the eyes to change focus on objects while the bird is in flight. All birds have these, but it's especially good for the world's fastest bird, the peregrine falcon. They've been recorded in speeds of dives of up to 300 miles per hour. And it's a good thing they have those sclerotic ossicles, otherwise they would just crash right into those pigeons that they love to eat, and they probably hurt themselves. Fortunately, we don't have a peregrine falcon in this show, but there is one located over by the treasures of the Sierra Madre. That's probably the closest you will get to a 300-mile-per-hour flyer, because our next bird likes to make a much lazier living, soaring above ground looking for his next meal. And bounding off the ramp and onto stage is Vader, our little black vulture.
Oh,
Black vultures are more common in the southeastern United States,
like a little horse.
but over recent years,
This has been Zoo Adventures Part 2. Hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I just want to say thanks, guys, for the support for my vlogs. And we have a whopping 2 subscribers. Yay! No, but guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Zoo Adventures Part 2. Expect more cool videos tomorrow. Bye-bye, my friends. I stole the outro from Timmy Tomato. I'm sorry. But I actually might have an actual outro. Bye-bye, guys. Peace.